Right, so yeah, we're live. I can't see you.
I can see you very well. Can you see me?
I can't see you, but I can't. Just let me check. I can see you. Hi. So this is a very interesting time. So very excited. Let's see who all are joining us today. Hi, Pallavi. Hi, Mom. Hi, Shalaka. So let's see. Okay. Let's wait, see how many people are joining in. Well, for me, I can. You're audible and visible. So, first of all, tell me, Ekktaa, how are you? And how excited are you for this topic? Hmm. Can't wait some more. I think so. Let's begin. So, thank you everybody joining in. Namaste to everybody. I'm Paras, and welcome to another session by the team of Mental Strength Professional. And I'm Paras. I'm the founder of Dr. Paras Wellness, and also the founder of Mental Strength Professional. So to begin with, I would like to say something about us, what we do. We are a team of coaches, mental health professionals, counselors, Reiki healers, mindfulness practitioners, hypnotherapists, NLP practitioners, who aim is to build mental toughness in people. And that's what we say, mental strength. Since July, each of our professionals, I'm sure everybody had interacted with many other professionals. We went live, and every week we bring something very interesting topic, which can be very helpful for many learners and to upgrade themselves and get some more insights on various topics on mental health. And I'm sure you're watching the videos and blogs that we post after the live sessions. So I'm live today with Ekktaa. I'm sure we already started our introduction. Hi, Ekktaa. Hi, Ekktaa. Can you just say good evening to everybody here?
I just want to check, Paris, if I am audible and if my screen is not freezed because I'm experiencing internet issues. So just wanted to check with everyone if they can see me.
Yes, I think so. I can see you. We can check with the response
Just
as
check
well.
with the others. Yes. Because I'm experiencing a lot of unstable network today. So just wanted to check before I start.
Sure. So we will check with somebody. Doesn't seem like there is a network issue. I can see you, I can hear you very well.
Okay, because I can't see the chat here. So just wanted to check.
Yeah, so Shalaka said and said we can see you, so we can.
Perfect.
Okay, so first of all, Ekktaa, congratulations to you. One of the best news that you shared, you're sharing with all of us this morning for being MP, that's a Master Practitioner from European Mentoring Coaching Council, that is EMCC. And I'm so very feeling proud to share that you rank in the top 3 in India at present. So we as team are extremely proud of you, and many congratulations to another feather in your cap in your practice as a coach, as a therapist, as a counselor, as a mentor. So thank you for bringing this to India and ranking the top 3 in India. You're just the top 3. That's it. That's a big thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm overwhelmed by listening to this. So first of all, I'm very, very, I would say thank you to everyone for your heartfelt wishes that I've been receiving since this morning. It has been an incredible journey with the EMCC. I would say I started almost a year back, and it has been helping me to reflect on myself and improve. And it has been a fabulous journey. And I'm glad that Almighty has been bestowing His love and support profoundly. Um, but I'm going to take a few seconds here, and I'm going to thank a couple of people in my life. Most important, I would like to extend my gratitude towards my parents, and very, very important, that's you, Paris, my mentor, my brother, my coach, and my journey in life is incomplete without you. You know, be it professional as well as personal. I would say I literally worship you for the intense josh that you have, be it training, be it coaching, uh, or transforming lives. Your passion to spread mental health awareness, has been tremendously motivating me in my journey too. I generally tend to look at motivation from within, but my immediate environment has you in the form of, I would say, and that is something that keeps me going. So thank you so much for being around me all the time and supporting me.
You're welcome, Ekta, and thank you. It's such an amazing feeling as well. I share the same thing for being my mentor. So reciprocal mentoring coaching, and reciprocal being my counselor and therapist as well at regular informal sessions. So let's move on to today's topic discussion. So based on responses and also people who have been connecting to us in the past 3 to 4 months, they've been sharing their worries, issues about relationship, and how communication has been getting impacted in this pandemic. So,
True.
Ekta, today we'll be talking about an interesting topic, the quintessential thread in relationship. That's communication. So, over to you, Ekta. I'm so excited to hear what can you offer to all of us today.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Paris, for that, for a lovely introduction. And so, good evening, everyone. A warm welcome, and I really, really appreciate your time. Each week that you come and spread, and just are with us in our journey of mental strength professional. So, let me quickly, go ahead with our today's topic, that is the quintessential thread in relationship, which is communication. So, let me connect the dots here. Last month, I spoke about self-coaching, and it addressed various areas like spending time with self care, listening to your own, communicating with your inner voice. It was all about nurturing self. So now in today's session, I'm going to move one step ahead, where I am going to have an intense discussion on how we can enhance our relationship with our loved ones by communicating effectively. And with loved ones, I would specifically like to address people who are in love, couples, married couples, people who are dating or about to get married, or people in long distance relationship. So specifically a bond of love and care. I would say COVID-19 has restructured a lot of things in the world. And one can face its direct impact on relationships too. Some have been experiencing too much of stress in their relationship due to lengthy period of being together in the same home, where they're unable to find their own personal space. While in some cases it's the other way around, they are unable to meet each other for months, which has been emotionally, collapsing for them. Several other factors like financial worries, increase in domestic work, at the same time supervising homeschooling, or rather work from home, and that constant fear about what's going to happen next. It has been challenging for many to keep up their patience level. Let me also tell you, in certain scenarios, couples have started withdrawing communication, and that is definitely an alarming situation. Let me share some, case studies here, which I came across in the past 3, 4 months. I would say, well, for privacy reasons, I have changed the names. So let me talk about one of the millennial couple here, Rahul and Sneha. So Rahul is 25-year-old and Sneha is 22-year-old. They met online on a dating app during the initial stages of pandemic. It took off really well between the two of them, however, due to extended lockdown, they were unable to meet each other. So the initial spark between them faded, and now they are in a dilemma as to how can we progress ahead or take this relationship ahead. So I would say, bridging that gap with patience is important, and on the other end, taking it slow can be one of the approaches with meaningful conversations. Let me take another case study here. Here, I would talk about a matured relationship, Shamik and Ruti. They both have been in marriage from past 11 years. And due to personal reasons, just before the pandemic, they both, decided to part ways. And let me tell you, here's the this lockdown actually gave them time to think and realize how important they are for each other. Shamik happened to tell me in one of the sessions how this pandemic has given him time and made him relook at his own thoughts about the marriage. He collected several memories about how they used to spend time in those, the playful banter, the exchange of praises, the fights which would end up in romantic gestures. So when Shamik was telling me about this, I told him, how about expressing this to Julie? Why don't you talk about this to her? And his response was, I don't know how would she take it, or I feel it is a little tough here. So what I feel here is the fragile ego between the two sometimes may hinder the communication, or also I would say, what would the other person feel is something that can block the communication between the two. So expressions of feelings and emotions can actually make a lot of difference here. So as we spoke about, communication in COVID-19, we spoke about the case studies here. Let's quickly understand what is meaningful communication and what is healthy communication, or rather meaningful relationship. Let's me first talk about that. In short, I would say a meaningful relationship is a unique blend of romance, trust, mutual respect. It is a sense of commitment and fulfillment towards each other. And let me tell you, it is from both the ends, the love, the care and support. It needs to be mutual. I know it sounds very soothing and very adorable. Let me also talk about what is healthy communication. We earlier spoke about a meaningful relationship. Now let's talk about what is healthy communication in a relationship. So communication is always based on expressing as well as receiving. So the individuals here, they need to give space to each other to have an open communication, and that too with dire honesty, with respect, and in a very mindful way. No matter how much you love your partner, unhealthy communication habits, they have the potency to damage a relationship in long term. And like I shared my thought yesterday, our academics never included a topic where how can I be a very good wife or a good husband or be a lovable partner. Neither do we have training sessions or courses for the same. So successful and healthy communication, it needs regular practice. It actually helps an individual in navigating through conflicts, effectively, at the same time keeping the relationship intact. So, Paras, I would like to take a pause here, and before I move ahead with further discussion, do we have any questions here?
Oh, let me check. So far, I don't see any question, but I see a lot of smiles that people are sharing, and resonating as well. So, but Ekta, thank you so much for this, for this wonderful topic that you're addressing. And I could sense so many challenges that I experience in multiple relationships that I encounter working with different people. So they're very useful tips, but the most important thought that I really loved was the successful and healthy communication needs regular practice. I think that resonate a lot more in every relationship today, I believe. So what next for us, Ekta?
Sure. So far we spoke about what is meaningful relationship and also what is healthy communication in relationship. Now, most important factor is the how factor. How can we enhance communication in relationship? And so I'm going to give certain tips here or various ways to enhance communication. So tip number one is identify your and your partner's communication style. So let me tell you, everyone has a different way of communication or different way of responding. Some may take time to express, some can be open to have a dialogue very quickly, while some prefer being composed and to the point. Some may go on and on and on. Some may also have an artistic way of expression, maybe through a poem, through a painting, by cooking. So it's just not about your own style of communication, but it is also very important to match your partner's communication style. And let me tell you, it helps in building a very strong connection. It helps in building trust and intimacy between the two. So the first one that we spoke about is identifying your and your partner's communication style. Let me move on to the second one, that is being present in relationship. This is an advanced, this is a fast-paced world of laptops and gadgets, and there has been an advanced technology. So the communication at times, the connection, it has lost a lot of, I would say connection has been lost in people when it comes to face-to-face dialogues. The constant need of replying on emails, phone calls, or WhatsApp messages, it makes an individual do multitasking, and that becomes an obstacle to being 100% in a relationship. So I would say having certain norms like, having meals together without phones, or some time of the day where both of them are fully present with each other while having a conversation without any disturbance around, can definitely connect, help the connection to go stronger. Third and most important way of, enhancing communication would be drawing boundaries. Just like keeping mutual interests alive, it is also important for individuals to maintain personal boundaries. In fact, boundaries help to strengthen the bond between the couples, as it aids in maintaining respect and care in relationship. This is my favorite. Focus on individual goals and support each other. This is the most important factor in a relationship. And that is, the partners, they need to focus on their individual goals and help the other person to achieve their respective goals. Too much of interference in each other's life can impact the sanctity of, communication and trust. One of the classic examples would be Zindagi Milegi Na Dobara, and the example between Abhay Deol and Kalki. That is one of the best examples here. So I'm not going to talk much about it, and moving on to the next one, that is listening in a relationship. I would say it's not just about talking or expressing, it's also about listening. Focused listening with compassion is vital in relationship. One should listen not just to respond, but also to understand the other person's perspective. The next one is expressing authentic feelings and emotions. I would say being authentic is the key. Avoid racketing of emotions, and it is very important to maintain transparency, regarding one's own thoughts and communications. So many times with a smile, a person says, I'm not happy, I'm sad. But if the person is not happy, that expression cannot be a smile. So show authentic emotions and feelings to your partner. The next one is admit mistakes and take responsibility. So the natural human tendency is to focus on the flaws of the other person. While things are really adverse, really difficult, or there are fights around, it is important to reflect back on the situation as a third person. and see if it is a mistake. It's okay to admit your own mistake and take responsibility for the same. We are all humans and we can commit errors. The next one is my favorite. It's a 48-hour rule and start over again. So there are times where, the fights between the couples, they get really ugly and it is too much for them to take. So at times here, the couple needs space to deal with the stress or the conflict between the two. It can be really, really overwhelming. So in situations like this, one can take 48 hours of cooling off period where, the partner can actually go back, think about it, and not hurt each other with words, and come back after 48 hours where both parties can actually have a healthy communication and start over for fresh. And one of the, strongest, point in maintaining an effective relationship is showing respect to each other. Respect in a relationship is very, very important. And then there must be mutual respect, I would say, in order to nourish the relationship. It's just one of the greatest expression of love. So I would say, I have, like in the morning I had mentioned, I have come up with a model. So for partners to evaluate their own communication style in relationship, I have prepared a model that is constructive communication model. This can actually help you understanding the scaling of your own communication style in a relationship. So Paris, if is it possible, can you quickly share the constructive communication model on the screen for the audience to get a quick glance, if possible? I can't hear you, Paris.
Okay, can you hear me?
No, I can't. Now I can. Now I can.
Oh, now you can. Okay, I think there's some. Okay, so technically this is a little new for me. I'm going to try.
Sure. Let's see if you can.
Okay, so can you help me, Ekktaa? Can you see the screen?
I can see the screen.
Okay, so that's something very interesting model. That's constructive communication model in relationship. I really wonder what efforts did you take in, because there's so much in this model. Can you talk a little bit more? What do I need to learn from this model?
Just because the screen is shared, it has become really easy for me to explain. So if you notice, there is scaling, there is way of communication, there is style of communication, and I have given examples as responses. So there are positive as well as negative, scaling. So I'm going to quickly start with positive scaling. The way of communication would be structured words. So here the style of communication is assertive. So a classic example would be, during this pandemic where both husband and wife, or maybe the couple here are involved in domestic work. So one of the classic response would be, could you please help me? I will do the kitchen. I would reorganize the kitchen. Why don't you go ahead and get the grocery for me? So this is a straightforward and assertive, yet a very respectable communication between the two. The second one is my favorite way of communication, that is nurturing. And in this, the style of communication is more about compassion, care, and empathy. So classic example would be, you know what, I know your schedule is busy. Why don't you have your meal on time? And please take care of yourself. The third one which I have listed is a spontaneous or a free style of communication, which is very, very easy and very, very friendly between the two. So when couples get bored, they feel being bored or something like that. One of the best responses for this would be, let's join, some dance class together, or maybe let's go ahead and, go for a trek together. It has been long that we haven't spent time together, and just exploring a free child in both of them. The next one is offering choices, a very, very important and a powerful way of communication. So the style here is, offering freedom and free will. So when you offer a choice, the trust and intimacy between the partners definitely raise to a next level. So one of the classic response would be, would you like to watch a movie this weekend, or shall we go out for dinner? Or it can be anything else. When you offer a choice to your partner, the scope of communication or the bond between the two definitely raises to another level. Paris, can we move on to the next slide where I'm going to talk about the negative ones?
Can you see this?
I don't know if you have changed the slide. Yeah, I can see it now. No, now I can see it, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so The next one is negative. So this is something which some of us would be using it in our day-to-day life, and something that can be curbed to have healthy bond or healthy communication. So one of the best ways, I would say, I've tried to put my best foot forward here for writing as much as possible. And let me tell you, I would be sharing this model in my blog. You can have a look at it and go back and reflect it with your partner. One of the ways, negative ways, is domination, and it is more about criticism and comparison. So a classic response for this would be, what your friend has worn a beautiful dress, why don't you dress up like him or her? And the next one is something which is being practiced regularly, and that is blaming the other person, blame games. And here the attitude is more about being stubborn. Some of the classic example is, because of you, I have been sacrificing a lot. So you literally blame the other person for everything in your life. The third and most important negative, way of communication is the anger or resentment, and the style here is hurtful. Sometimes, partners end up saying, "You make me feel embarrassed in public. Your presence doesn't give me a good vibe." This is just said in anger way. It may not be authentic at that point of time, but it definitely hurts the other person. And last but not the least, which is the most dangerous one, that is the cold and silent treatment. And the behavior here is passive aggressive. It's like the person is quiet, and if the partner is being asked, "What's wrong with you?" and the person says, "There's nothing wrong with me." And they avoid text messages and calls, and they go silent on each other for almost weeks and months. So that is another very sad way of that needs to be avoided. So I've tried my best to explain this in a particular in a tabular form, make the best use of it, and scale from negative to positive way of communication. I'm sure it is going to help your relationship to get much, much stronger.
I just feel this model to be so enriching and so insightful. It's like it's teaching me something like a way of life, like it's making life easier for relationships. And a couple of pointers that you shared is just, I just could not, it's just staying with me, like, the importance of boundaries in relationship, and also respecting each other, and most interestingly, that 48-hour thing that you spoke about was, I think that really helps. And being also respectable and being present in the relationship. So I think some way or the other, you're bringing a space of how healthy a relationship can not just be built up but sustained for longer time.
True.
And also this model, thank you for this wonderful model. Like, it's like I could assess my own self, how is my communication style and the way I'm communicating. So this would be all available, everybody, on an upcoming blog, which will be on mentalstrengthprofessional.com in the next 48 hours, anytime it will launch. So there's some timing that we kept. But do visit and do access the whole complete model and share with as many people as you can, and empower their lives as well, by adding some little value in their lives and making them more meaningful relationships. So Ekktaa, I also want to address one of the pressing issues that sometimes lead to silent war. So mainly between the couples, and it ends up leading to a very damaging space, like it damages the whole relationship. So can you please throw some light on that? Because when I hear about silent treatment, that scares me to death.
Sure, Paris. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the silent treatment. There are certain merits to silent treatment, but at the same time, it can also get abusive. Let me first talk about what is silent treatment. Silent treatment is where there is no communication between the partners, be it both verbal as well as non-verbal communication. And it mainly occurs when one partner pressurizes the other person back to back with demands or criticism or complaints. So in a way, it throws the other person away, or it takes the other person away. The other person here chooses to respond with silence as well as emotional distancing. Now, let me tell you, research have shown that the act of ignoring and excluding. It activates the same area of the brain that is activated by physical pain. It activates the anterior cingulate cortex, the part of the brain that detects physical pain. So the person who is being ignored or excluded, or who feels being unwanted, actually goes through that pain. So they tend to complain, this part of my back or my shoulder pains. And let me tell you, when one chooses silent treatment as a way of communication, it would literally bruise the other person, and the marks cannot be seen. They are not visible. I remember a client whom I met 2 months ago, who happened to tell me that in his 25 years of marriage, there has been almost 15 years of silent treatment towards each other. So he just treats his house or home like a hotel. Silent treatment can be silent treatment can also be exercised when one wants to exert control position in a relationship, and give a cold shoulder to the other person, not only for days but maybe for weeks and months. It mainly comes from the space of being punitive, punishing behavior, and it ends up only when the other person keeps on pleading and saying sorry. Trust me, giving someone the feeling of being unwanted or not acknowledging their presence, it can lead to lowering self-esteem of the other person. And, this is certainly not hygienic in a relationship, and it can lead to emotional abuse, leading to lowering confidence of the other person. So we got to be very mindful when it comes to, not giving silent treatment to the other person, but communicating.
See me? Yeah, okay.
I can't hear you, Paris.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, so
yeah, I can hear you.
So I have a question for you here. Like, you talked about silent treatment, which
Sure.
is so dangerous, and I know it's killing. Touch wood, I didn't experience it much, but it is hurtful. And so, but can you help me out to differentiate between that 48-hour rule versus silent treatment? What's the difference?
Sure. There is a difference between, it's a very good question, Paris. There is certainly a difference between 48-hour rule and silent treatment. I'll just give you a quick example to, make you understand, make the audience understand. So let's take it this way. There's a heated argument. In 48 hours rule, the communication would be like, what, I'm angry. Let's not talk about it now. We will talk about it later. Now, after 48 hours, after the cooling off period, they actually get back and talk about it in a very decent and a fresh manner. However, a silent treatment would be like, I don't want to talk about it. Let's stop it. And it goes on for days and weeks of silence. And that is definitely dangerous. Many others, actually, the trigger point is the silent treatment. Let me also share a couple of other don'ts in relationship. Never, or rather avoid bringing past issues during our arguments, because it is not going to help you move ahead or in your relationship. Continuously trying to improve the other person by constant comparison is also a strict no. Taking the other person for granted is also should be avoided. And very, very important is avoid emotional blackmailing. So I believe, Paris, we are on the top of the hour. So I am just going to quickly share tips on enhancing communication or expression in relationship. Very quick one. The lighter ones which you can do in your day-to-day life. The first one is check in daily with your partner. Questions like, how are you feeling today? How's your day at work? This can actually help you develop a habit of communication between the two. Most important factor is never assume. If something has been misunderstood, clarify it, ask for it, because understanding is a must. Maybe, example like, I'm slightly confused, please tell me more about it. I did mention in the beginning about listening well. So be in the moment with your partner and listen well. The fourth tip I would like to say is avoid sarcasm or being punitive in a relationship. I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Paris.
Yeah, we just lost connection with Ekta. She's joining us soon. Yeah, I think she's joining. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Ekta. We just lost you. So I just thought probably.
Okay. So when
Uh,
do you want me to start
can
with
you share
the?
the tips, please? Yeah, we're looking for the tips, Ekta.
All right. So I believe, Paris, I'm just going to be very quick in sharing the tips because we're falling short of time because I'm already running late here. So the first tip that I shared was check in daily with your partner to develop habit of communication. A quick, question like "How are you feeling today?" or maybe even deeper than that, "How was your day at work? Hope everything is fine." These questions can actually help you develop the habit to communicate with each other in regular intervals. I would also say don't assume. If there is a misunderstanding, always seek clarity. Questions like, I'm slightly confused here. Could you please tell me more about it? I initially mentioned about one of the powerful ways of communication is listening. So listen well to your partner. Be in the moment with your partner. Listen to them, not just to respond, but also to understand them. Compassionate listening is must. The fourth tip I would say is avoid sarcasm or being punitive, because that is something which the other person may not be comfortable with. The next one I would say is evaluate your relationship with each other timely. Questions like, how do you feel about us being together? Or how are we progressing on our relationship front? Or, talking about relationship goals here, where are we on that front? Keep doing that because it's about inventing various ways to make the relationship more effective and stronger. And let me tell you, nothing is permanent. So if there is some misunderstanding, if there is some problem, have a positive attitude and problems can be resolved. Always build a way out. The next one I would say is be responsive. Your partner reaches out to you, by a text message or maybe by a phone call or maybe by a quick WhatsApp message or for asking for a meeting. They're just wanting your attention. They want your time. They value you more. So be with each other more. The next one I would say is convey your stress. Just don't have a feeling that the other person will not be able to take care of your stress levels. It's not like that. You can actually go back and share your worries with your partner. And I'm going to share last two quick tips, which are my favorite. Always say thank you and sorry wherever applicable. And it's okay to apologize even if you're not wrong in a relationship. And the last one is compliment each other big time whenever possible. There is a lot of negativity around. Just compliment the best things in your partner and make them feel valued. So I have tried my best to cover most of it. You can certainly refer to this particular topic in detail in my blog, and I'll also be sharing some tips in the form of video. In my blog, I've also added tips for enhancing communication in long distance relationship, as I've not covered here, but it is mentioned in the blog. So over to you, Paris. That's all from my end. If there are
Thank
any
you.
questions I would like to address.
Let me check first. Do we have any questions for you? Just give me a minute. Tick, tick, tick. Okay. So Shalaka is saying that great session, very profound.
Thank
And
you.
again, the constructive communication model is very comprehensive. So that's an interesting thing. So far, no questions, Ekta, but I like the tip. Some of the tips that you shared was very interesting. One is that listen well, and don't be judgmental about things,
True.
and also nothing is permanent. I think that was such an amazing hope that you're instilling in people who have a fear whether their relationship, how is it? So nothing is permanent.
True.
Things are going to pass by, and maybe that could be a wonderful start. Personally, what I really like for a lot of men that I want to bring in and highlight is that be responsible and also convey your stress. So I really like the point that you brought about convey your stress. And it goes to a lot of men and women in our country or in different cultures or different countries that they tend to be strong
True.
as they do not have, and they feel that that's where they can demonstrate love to their partners. But I think once they're able to convey this communication, hey, I'm stressed out, honey, I think that will not take further toll in their relationship, and it will make the relationship more meaningful. So thank you so much once again, Ekta. That was very, very powerful and profound. And yes, everybody, we are moving on to the closure of our session. Thank you. And it is really, this topic has been hard hitting and it's been addressed so sensitively. Also, a quick reminder, you can see it on the screen, the Colleen Personality Assessment is available free till September 14 of 2020. So if you really want to take this test with each other and then use a model and initiate a conversation, can be a very good start this August. And you can access this on www.psychometricassessments.com. You can see it on the screen live right now. Also, to schedule a session with Ekktaa or any other mental strength professional, please visit our website. It's www.mentalstrengthprofessional.com, or else you can reach out to us on our mobile number. A direct mobile number is 8260-112233. And in case of any queries, please email it to us at info@mentalstrengthprofessional.com.
Absolutely. I would request everyone or urge everyone, this test is free. Please take it. It can certainly help in, understanding your own self, and it can help you to make the communication between the both of you very effective, and it can help in strengthening the bond. And please go through the blog and video and feel free to write it to us at info@mentalstrengthprofessional.com. It's very much available on the screen, the email address. And I'll certainly, if there are any queries or questions, write it to us. I will ensure that there is a reply to each one of you.
And also for more information and more updates, please visit our website. You can also follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram and also our YouTube channel, that is Dr. Paras. So before closing today's session, this is such a powerful session. It's holding so much of learning in this space. I can contain it in my body, and I'm sure this will really recharge my style of communication. So Ekktaa, any last remark for the audience?
Well, just a quick one. A lot of you have, shared your stories with me, and it has, inspired me to write a poem. So I am dedicating a poem to all those people who have shared their spaces with me. I will be sharing that poem tomorrow, and let's see. Tell me, how do you like it?
Okay.
So, Paras, I'm just going to close this with a quote from my end. I would say, don't strive for perfection. Embrace the imperfection in each other. So that's all from my end. Thank you so much, everyone. I know the session has been longer, but you have been really, really patient in listening. I thank you so much, Paras, for your support in navigating this session. Thank you. And thanks to all the lovely audience who've been commenting.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ekktaa, for this very power-packed session. I think this Thursday evening or Thursday morning could not be much better than having this topic here. So thank you for that, and thank you all for your lovely patience. So rethink, relook, reassess, look at the model, relook at your communication style, the way you're communicating to your partner, make that difference, make things happen. It's easy to quit, but it's very difficult to be consistent and meditate and have hope in relationships. So namaste from me. This is Paras signing off from this channel right now at this moment, but I look forward to see you again in the coming week with some interesting topic. So namaste, wish you all the best and happy evening to all of you. Have a great evening ahead. Namaste.
Thanks, everyone. Namaste. Thank you.